In 1983, after an argument with lead singer James Hetfield, the lead guitarist of Metallica at that time, and writer of their debut album, Dave Mustaine, was driven to the Port Authority bus terminal in New York City, put on a bus bound for LA, and fired from the band. In that order. From then on, his anger and rivalry with Hetfield and Metallica drove him to create Megadeth, earn a Grammy, foster the birth of American thrash metal, and cement his place in rock and roll history. This is the story of my rival. I don't think we've ever spoken, and he probably doesn't know I exist, but for some reason, our lives seem intertwined. The only thing that removed me from our seemingly soul-bound struggle was moving 200 miles away, but even as I say that, I know that somehow just writing this down and making it real will only conjure him back into my life. The worst part is, I'm certain he's an amazing guy. That's what people who know us both say about him. They gush at how noble and kind he is. They talk about how witty and pure he is, how present and perfect he is. And for some reason, they are very comfortable saying he's better than me. To the face. It's because of his seeming perfection that I refuse to change his name and protect the innocent. And it started pretty innocently. I was a nerdy sophomore in high school, and despite being a head taller and stronger than most boys my age, I had broken both my arms the first time I tried the football team, so the parents didn't let me play. Instead, I had to follow more cerebral pursuits to find my place in the world. After being dragooned into participating in a play my freshman year by my English teacher and the mother of the girl I was seeing at the time, I found a love for performance and theater. I would practice monologuing in the shower or whenever I was cleaning up around the house. I was dedicated. I felt that I had found my niche. When it came time to compete against other schools through UIL competition in oral interpretation of prose and poetry, I left at the chance. All of the competitors loaded up in a bus, and we spent the day reading stories and poems for college students, earning a couple extra bucks, judging our efforts. I was sure that my hard work and dedication would pay off. I made it through the first round of 3. But in the second round, before I stood to present my piece, a young man read first. He was a bit younger than me. He was dressed in a black suit that put my shabbily tucked shirt to shame. He effortlessly held a wry smile on his lean features, peeking out beneath floppy 90s Tiger Beat Devon Sawa hair. He took a deep breath and blew everyone away. I can't remember the piece he read, but I remember that he flowed effortlessly between characters and had everyone in the room laughing. Everyone but me. The worst part was I had to follow it. I sputtered and stumbled through an abridged reading of Poe's Telltale Heart, throwing as much twisted and snickering madness into it as I could muster. The judges were unmoved. When the results were posted, I had not made it to the third round. I looked for the name of the kid that won the whole competition and the stranger that would shadow my life. Orion White. I took my loss and swore to let it make me better. I practiced for each competition for all the years of high school, but no matter how I tried, Orion White only got better with age. For the entirety of my high school career, any public speaking performance or competition we went to, I constantly improved, but Orion always won. I wasn't happy about it, but at least he was only better than me in this one aspect of our lives, right? My senior year. I'm a girl. one of these UIL competitions. She went to another school in our area, so our relationship consisted mostly of talking on the phone and making out in darkened school hallways during those speech time. Through most of our relationship, I always felt somehow like I was a consolation prize. Like there was someone else she was into that she couldn't have, but I was close enough. I pushed all that out of my head until one night on the phone with her, as I was trying to be funny, you know, it was some goofy accents or observational comedy. She half-heartedly laughed and said, "That's pretty good. I had a friend that does it better." No, this reminded me of him, but he's a little cooler. My heart cracks. You know, "Oh yeah?" I said, trying not to let my ego fall apart. "What's his name?" "Oh, you don't know him. He's just this guy that went to my old school. Red and white." My heart exploding, leaving the black hole that sits in its place to this day. I don't think I talked to her after that. The rest of my senior year, I didn't hear about him. I went to college. I stayed in Corpus Christi for 2 years, where I participated in the theater program. Until I heard that they were bringing a student over to lead a workshop nearby Dayton and Kingsville. "Hey, here's a moment there. Have you better study his hands Ryan lights?" I decided my job at HEB was more important than theater after that. Soon after I failed out of A&M Corpus Christi. I started my life over. At 20, I became a substitute teacher for a while and found a focus and reason to go back to college. I decided I would go to A&M Kingsville myself because all you had to do to get in was open the door. My degree was focused on English education, but I got really into broadcast communications. I ended up double majoring. I became the program director of the college radio station, and I made movies for the TV station. I was voted big man on campus for my friendly and bombastic personality. I hosted talent shows and pageants. I was the track announcer for CC Motor Speedway and the minor league hockey team, the Corpus Christi Ice Wings. "Hey, Sonny, you're pretty cool. I love the way you host. You got a great sense of humor. But do you know who you remind me of? I've been at Rocky Life. He's in theater, and he studies math education. I bet you guys are really good along. You're into the same stuff, but he's like, really cool." Oh? Can't say I've had the passion. I puttered around radio and television for a while after college. I worked in production for Theater Channel Communications of Corpus Christi. I became a TV news camper then in Brazil during the cartel wars of 2008. I helped bust sex trafficking on Craigslist. I saved some people from a wildfire. I was shot at, chased, and stood unprotected with a camera in a Category 2 hurricane. There was a Satan-worshipping family Islander in Brownsville that became obsessed with me and used to wink at me from the witness stand when I put my camera out. A reporter that I worked with most often went to college in Kingsville. She pulled me aside one day and said, "Hey, those are really cool stories, Sonny. You should write them or do stand-up. I have a friend that can help you make them better." More interesting, he has an improv comedy troupe. He's writing plays of Peter about your things, but better on their life. When the economy of 2008 killed radio and television, I fell back into education. I worked hard and became a really good English teacher in my hometown of Dallas, Texas. I won awards. I was put on committees for the state of Texas. I met the people who make the decisions. I was in the room where it happened. Then I moved to a nearby school district in Kingsville following a girl that didn't work out. I taught English and theater in this tiny school district. I was sharing my passions with a crowd of new students. There was one problem, though. The theater teacher who had just left was so much better than me. He taught math, too. I reminded all the students of it. His name was Mr. White, and he even taught them to love poetry in his math class. A piece that you English teachers can accomplish. You're pretty good, Mr. Garcia, but Mr. White's like, wait. In my production of the theater classic Arsenic and Old Lace that year was a trouble. I was pulled aside by two Sonny teachers. They thought that a more professional theatrical eye would help to pull the production together. He's a former teacher who left the profession the same as an agent there at flower shopping. He's the most helpful, perfect, and effortlessly funny person to ever walk the earth, and we're sure he would be happy to help you pull all this together. In fact, I think you both graduated from college at the same time, maybe, and we don't know that. I never really talked to anyone about it until I moved to Houston in 2019. I met my wife that year once I moved to town, and when we first started dating, and she reached out to a friend, Jana, and was coincidentally also in Kingsville to find out more information about me. We had friends in common from college, so we never really hung out. But Jana talked to those common friends, and I passed the vetting test. She knew of me from my college radio days and my announcing stuff, and one night, while hanging out with Jana over a couple of drinks, I launched into my strange story about my rival. I didn't even have to mention the name of the man, but I was the Hills County Fair version. Lit out promptly. Jared giggled. Oh, Ryan. Yeah, I can see that. Before I left Kingsville, I saw him in the flesh, in the crowd at graduation, supporting his former students better than I supported my students that I left behind in the house. It wasn't until that last near encounter that I really sat down and began to pull all of this cosmic joke together. Now my friends know that anytime I get too big for my britches, all they have to do is bring up Orion, and I come crashing back down to reality. He's out there. Somewhere. Writing the great American novel, or teaching the homeless to read, or healing the sick and walking on water, or whatever. Orion, if you're listening, know that everyone likes you better than me. And I'm grateful for you. It is liberating to know that no matter what I do, there is someone out there doing better. It challenges me to try hard and pushes me through the procrastination of perfection paralysis, because no matter how good I make something, in my mind and the minds of those who know us both, whatever Mr. White did will be bad. I do admit that my dearest, secretest, heaviest hope is that once, just once, someone has walked up to you and said, "Hey, you remind me of my friend Sonny." But like, not that good. Princess Pigeon. Keep it going for Tony.
All right. Moving on to our next story. All right. So this story is called Open Letter to Random Funeral Home, and it's written by Ann Christensen. In the reader, you may have seen them as the winner of the 2019 Unoff competition at the Secret Group Comedy Club with the Earharts.